Welcome to my first explore and sketch video, which is an idea I've been having for a while but haven't done it yet. I've been going out and sketchbooking though, practice drawing, practice art. Today I'm gonna go out and draw. Already there's not a lot of daylight left. It's almost 3 and it's probably the last really nice day here in Taipei, which is where I'm based. I'm gonna just challenge myself to kind of go out and go to the park and just kind of see how the weather is, people watch, observe, and make some art. My goal is just to sketchbook and kind of document the progress, document what I'm seeing. I think normally when I'm out already, I do tend to observe, notice a lot of things around me, but I don't think I quite have the habit down to like convert that into art and drawing my own interpretation of it. I think historically I've kind of been stuck trying to draw things realistically because this art journey is relatively new and recent for me. But I'm gonna go out and just kind of like push myself to illustrate or draw like what I see around me and to the best of my ability in the best way that feels right to me. I think we're gonna go to the park. I'll just kind of share what Taipei is like. I've lived in Taipei for a lot of my life. I'm not gonna be able to show Taipei from the perspective of, oh my god, like traveling here for the first time and trying this and that and this and that, because I've been here so long. So maybe things that seem really cool and interesting to someone else who hasn't been here before versus me, I'll have a very different reaction. But I tend to just be this way anywhere I go because I've had the privilege to travel out and been to different parts of the world, so I do feel very lucky about that. But I think what's most interesting to me as an artist and as what I like to observe around me, just like the universal human experiences we all have. Get started and I will take you with me. I'll try to record what I can because I'm still getting used to documenting things. I'm my best to record what I'm drawing as well. Let's get started. I don't know, going on a field trip or something. I have my bags packed and let's hope we get at least like an hour or 2 in of drawing and people watching. So let's see. made it back from the park and I managed to get some sketching in, which I will show you and just kind of debrief a bit. I do want to get into the routine of doing urban sketching regularly, you guys along. I didn't go to art school. A lot of this I'm just like kind of figuring out by myself, watching online videos and stuff. And I also don't feel like my materials are necessarily the right materials all the time. It's just, but I see what other people do and I try to kind of mimic. Tombow brushes, color pencils, but because I have a lot of color pencils from my childhood, I'm not using like the nicest color pencils, which are usually better for like layering over other things, but I just don't feel like I need to at this time. Just kind of using whatever color pencils. But I feel like what I realized today about the work was that all of this is just to go out and to like push myself to sketch and connect with the world, kind of build my own visual world in my own sketchbook and just kind of like play. I'm also trying to take this pretty seriously to like grow my skills to a point where like I feel like what I'm creating in my sketchbook matches the kind of vision I have in my head, because I'm just kind of trying to build a visual world of my own, which is fun. This kind of stuff is work also. It just takes a lot of thought and also energy. Honestly, today I was already not having the best mental health day. That kind of colored everything too. Also, today's a holiday, so then the park was especially busy for like a Friday. On one hand, it's great because you get to see a lot more different people and just everyone's out and about and like enjoying themselves. On the other hand, there's like a lot of foot traffic and I'm still really new to like drawing outside, not very comfortable with people like seeing me draw. So I do try to find places where I can do it more discreetly. If there's a lot of foot traffic, then people are usually passing by and seeing what I'm doing, which is fine, but it's also kind of like a little nerve-wracking. The first piece I did, which I'll show you more close up, was this one, and this is when I realized I felt like I didn't have the right colors on me, because when I bought those Tombow brushes, I was just kind of like whatever was available. They're not the cheapest, so it was just, I didn't really understand the different like shades of green, so I just kind of bought whatever. And I really struggled actually to kind of get the shadows on the grass and the shadows on the tree to like feel right. And I also didn't have a bright yellow either, which I wanted to use for the light hitting the leaves. I used like the orangey yellow, which is how it turned out like this. I'm still learning how to draw like depth or like make things look deep, basically. For example, like back of the trees, I wanted to draw like other trees to make it feel like the landscape was like extending backwards, and I don't think I was able to really capture that. It's fine. It was just like kind of scribbling. I started with like using purple and then dark blue, and then I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. At least now I know. I'm still trying to experiment with my mark making. I feel like I still only know how to scribble trees in like 3 different ways, and I feel like there's a lot of other ways to scribble trees and like draw the shapes and the kind of the way the leaves fall and everything, the way the shadows are. So to simplify it, I didn't like love this piece, and typical me being a maximalist, I couldn't keep the white space blank, so then I had to color it blue, and I only had like 1 blue, so then just turned out a little bit too dark. But you know, this is part of the journey. And then after that, I was getting bitten by a bunch of mosquitoes. I was feeling really itchy, so then I left, and then I tried to move to a bench that was a little less populated by traffic. Then I did manage to do that. Well, first of all, it rained a lot yesterday, so the ground was super muddy, so I had to like, it was interesting to kind of like walk through and realize, oh, I can't actually like sit on the grass today. So then I moved to the new spot and then did this pigeon piece. And so the thing with the pigeon piece was there was like 1 or 2 pigeons just like nearby, and I wanted to try to like use a Tombow brush to quickly draw the shape, just like get the shapes, and then I used pen over to go over it. And the funny thing is, first of all, the Tombow brush color was too dark, and I didn't realize that. If I could redo, I'd probably use lighter color. But the funny thing is that I was able to look at the pigeons up until I finished all the shapes, and then they left. They flew away right when I finished the shapes. I just like improvised the line work, and I had to like use my memory to be like, what does a pigeon look like? And I get the wings and stuff, because I do know how to draw like pigeons from memory usually, but the thing with this is I do feel like the pigeons, I don't know their wing marks very well, and so I just kind of scribbled, which is kind of fun actually. It's like very imaginative and there's many different ways to make a pigeon look. I did quite like this one. The next sketch is my favorite. This is a tree. So I feel like I learned from the first one I did. This time I tried to just stick to a couple colors and I just simplified by not painting environment and all the people. Just stuck to this one tree. You know, I actually usually really struggle with branches because I feel like I have a habit of just drawing branches really straight and I only know how to make them fork like once. I feel like trees are windy and curvy. There's so much like beauty to different shapes of trees that I'm still learning how to capture. I'll show you like an earlier piece, basically. An earlier piece of a tree. I just feel like I have improved a lot in like 2 months, basically. How I used to depict one where I also use the same Tombow brushes, it's quite messy, but all my branches and trunks are like really straight and kind of stiff. I feel like I have already been better at improving. This was also from back in March, and I did like this one, but I still feel like it was a little stiff, but I do think going to life drawing class right now is helping, and so that's how I was able to get a little bit better at, I feel like, drawing shapes, but it's like very intentional. I'd be very intentional about practicing. You can see this is another one I did, I think in April. I would definitely feel better about that. Oh yeah, I have another tree and park one, which I'll show later. Like I do like that I have started to been a little bit better about drawing shapes, the trees to be a little bit more curvy, just have more personality to it. I still think I'm not simplifying as much as I can with the branches and everything, but you know, that's okay. I do really like how the shading turned out and the light, and this one was really fun. The next piece, this is all like improvising by the way, but the next one was this park scene. I was decided to just use a black color pencil and I went ahead and just drew whatever people I saw around. Normally when I draw people, I do get overwhelmed as well, especially when there's like sitting sideways or shortening and perspective. I'm just not very strong at that right now, but you know, it's fine because they're all really tiny. I wanted to make kind of like a park illustrated scene, and then after drawing all these people, I got kind of tired of it. So then I drew all the trees, which I had more fun with. It was really fun to just kind of people watch. There was this one guy with his cat. The cat was not on a leash, and so cat was running around chasing squirrel, and that's just not something you see that often here in Taipei because we just don't see like cats outside as much, and when they are, they're usually like in a bag. This cat was like not only walking outside but like unleashed, and so it was actually pretty impressive, but definitely like everyone was staring because it was like not as common. Or definitely a lot of dogs and just people lying on their blankets, hanging out. And so I was trying to draw these like different groups of people, kind of see how to do that. And people were flying kites, so it was kind of cute. And then initially it was just like an all black line drawing, and then I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and add color because I just can't seem to not add color to things. I did limit myself to one though. I had fun just kind of like shading, coloring like the ground and trees. At this point I was getting pretty tired though because I'd already been out for like, I don't know, an hour or two. I wasn't drawing the whole time. I was just people watching, listening, but I was also just like getting tired. I feel like when you're sketching, it's fun, it's interesting. It's also hard work because you're working your brain in a very particular way. And I did a final one, which I do really like how this one turned out. So this is what it looks like. And I was holding a blue color pencil in my hand and I was just like sitting there, just like looking around like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna draw? What am I gonna draw? What am I gonna draw? I knew I really wanted to just work on my plants because I still want to like learn how to simplify them. So then I just like looked at all the different trees and drew the different trees, and I actually really like how it came out. I feel like the branches could have still been more simplified, but I did like that I was able to like kind of focus on the different shapes of trees and like try to think about the way leaves are falling, just overall playing with that. So I did really enjoy that. Of course, because I can't have white space apparently, I went ahead and put orange marker and colored around it, which is really nice because I actually really like how it turned out. I managed to get like 5 pages of sketching in, which is very decent. And it's just a matter of now, like, what do I want to do with everything I've been practicing and applying it in my daily illustration work or drawing artwork, digital art-wise, coming up with more of my own visual world and see what happens. That is it. I'm gonna try my best to keep to a schedule of like sketching and filming regularly so that I can show this process of like learning to sketch outside. I feel like professional artists or people who have been doing it for a long time are like used to it and they have their materials, but I'm still like starting. I don't want to like hone in on any specific materials yet. I think eventually I want to be comfortable painting outside, like with watercolor or gouache or whatever other paints. I don't think that day's coming anytime soon because I do get very overstimulated and overwhelmed easily by external noise and movement. I just don't feel comfortable to be painting with an easel outside with like people around. I'm just not there yet. I don't feel ready for that yet. I'm just gonna keep sketchbooking, and I think what is most manageable right now are using the Tombow brush pens and water brush pens and my color pencils, and then maybe ink, like pen. I don't know. You know what? We'll just see. We'll just see where this goes. Thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in seeing my art journey and how it all goes and where I go with all of this, feel free to subscribe, support by following and liking this video. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and weekend or week or whenever I decide to post this, I guess. Did I have anything else I wanted to say? No, I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super happy with my urban sketching skills yet, but like these things take like years to build. Like I'm just starting, so I am like being understanding with myself about it. I am looking forward to the day though that I have like concise color use and know how to like use those colors and what I make and draw with all those colors. Until that day comes, we'll just yeah, this is just it. All right, talk to you later.